Everybody. All right, so let's move up front. I'm sorry davening took a little bit longer, so I'm sorry we're running a little bit late. So all the ladies that want to go to my wife's class, which I highly recommend, we're going to get you out of here at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. You at the Flora? Yeah.
What?
She's saying you have a beautiful life.
Oh, I'm married to her, yeah. It's very exciting, yes.
See, now you're famous.
I was famous.
You must have a very good personality.
Okay. All right, do you want to move up a little bit? You're here, perfect. Okay, so, all right, okay, this may or may not be recorded, but we'll play it by ear anyway. Okay, so this is a 10-minute interactive class of how to have mindfulness in the morning, okay, and really connect to Hashem. So this young man over here has siddurim, so if everyone could just grab a siddur and give me one as well, so we'll be all on the same page. Okay, so I'm staying in one place. Okay, so we have okay, it's a big room, so I just need everyone's attention for literally 10 minutes. Okay, so what are we trying to do when we wake up as a Jew, or even as a human being?
Be thankful.
Right. Be thankful and be grateful. This is, whether you're Jewish, whether you're not Jewish, this is the proper thing to do when you wake up in the morning. It's very difficult to do unless you are in a situation where you're able to do it in an easier way, meaning unless it's set up for you. So if we have our sidders here, unbelievably, they already set this up for us. So does everyone have a siddur like this in their hands or around their hands? We're getting them. Okay, fine, perfect. Just a beautiful, hot off the presses, art scroll, pocket-sized siddur. Okay, so let's turn to page 2. And if you have this siddur, turn to page 2. If you don't have this siddur, okay, fine. Oh, can you announce that one? What? Modeh. Start with Modeh. Right. Page 2 on both of them, fine. It's easy to be on the same page when you're starting with the first thing. Okay, so I'm just going to go through my morning routine, which I'm usually pretty good at. And I try to say this before I get to synagogue. Because once you get to synagogue, sometimes you're a little bit more rushed than you'd like to be, because there's like sort of an energy there. If you're a lady and you don't happen to have to go to synagogue in the morning, so you have a huge advantage because you could say this at home at your own pace, at your own time. So now the point is to say the words and to realize that you're talking to Hashem when you're saying the words. Okay, so we're going to try to do that right here. So you could do it out loud, whatever, don't worry about the people next to you. So on page 2, the first bracha is Modeh Ani. And I'm going to assume that we all know the words, how to read them anyway in Hebrew, but we don't necessarily know what they mean. So we're just going to say them in English for the purposes of mindfulness. Because if you're saying something and you don't know what it means, so mindfulness is going to be very much impossible. Right? Right? Okay. I'm just going to tell one story. There's a high school where the boys get there. They're not like in necessarily the best spiritual shape, but they all went through like the yeshiva system. And so the first thing that the rabbi does with them is he gives them a paragraph to read in French. Okay? So now French has the same alphabet as in America. So, they basically can pronounce every word wrong, and then they have no idea what they're saying. Okay? So he goes, okay, how did that feel? He said, terrible. Okay, then he gives them something from the tefillah, something from the prayer, like one of the longer tehillim that we read, that they're really reading all the time, to read in Hebrew. So he said, okay, please read this. So they blow through it because they've read it since they were 6 years old. And he said, okay, what are you saying? So they said, I have no idea. So it just becomes, if you don't know what you're saying, it literally becomes like French, unless you speak French, so it's a problem. And he starts them off with having them connect to Hashem and have mindfulness, and the majority of these boys who, are definitely on the edgy side, come out very much connected to Hashem. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to do a few of the prayers because we have about 5 minutes left. My point and goal in this is, if I tell you, hey, you have to spend an hour doing this, meditating, going like this in the morning, no one wants to do it. And it's not even set up that way. It's really just supposed to be 10 minutes and that's it. Okay, so the first thing on page 2 or 3 in the English, or if you have the interlinear, you can read it right underneath. You wake up in the morning and let's just say this out loud and just concentrate on it. I gratefully thank you, O living and eternal King, for you have returned my soul within me with compassion. Abundant is your faithfulness. So that means the last line, by the way, means Hashem believes in us. If he didn't believe in us, we have no need to be here. He would just take us out. Right? So not saying that that's why people leave the world. Obviously, everyone's got their own time and their own mission to fulfill. But for us, it's like, we have to remember Hashem believes in us. So now imagine you wake up in the morning and right away you thank Hashem for returning your soul. So you're hooked in. Okay? Then we're going to skip to page 14. We wash our hands in the morning. After we wash our hands, so we say this moda'ani that we just said, basically just more or less upon arising, if you know it by heart, or if you have a sitter next to you. Then we wash our hands, and we go to the bathroom and do all our stuff. Then we come out, okay, and you're dressed, and maybe you already had your coffee. So then you really get into page 14. And the first thing we say is, if you read with me on page 15, blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and has commanded us regarding washing the hands. So that's the first thing. And when you're thinking about your hands, and to get into the mindfulness thought channel, just look at your hands and think about, like, wow, I have hands. Hashem gave me my hands. Think of all the things you can do with your hands, and it's an amazing concept. Right away you're connected, right away you're mindful, right away you're grateful. So your whole day is different when you say, oh, Hashem returned my soul. It's a gift that I'm here. I have hands. I can use them. This is unbelievable. Okay, next. Then we say the prayer for after we go to the bathroom, on the bottom of page 15/14, or what book? Same thing, great. Blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who fashioned man with wisdom and created within him many openings and many cavities. It is obvious and known before your throne of glory that if but one of them were to be ruptured or but one of them were to be blocked, it would be impossible to survive and to stand before you. Blessed are you, Hashem, who heals all flesh and acts wondrously. So now we're go in the bathroom. It's a big thing. Not everyone has the privilege, and if you can't, you're in trouble. So right away we're thanking Hashem for that. We're hooked in. Okay, so now we're going to skip along to page 18 for the morning brachot. Okay, so we're just going to do a few of these. We're going to start off with. Let's start off with not being too controversial. Let's start off with, there's a blessing that says, Blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who gives sight to the blind. Everyone see that's sort of the bottom of page 18/19? Right after we split up the men and women one, which I'm not going to talk about right now. So, blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who gives sight to the blind. And then for mindfulness, just look around the world, see you can see. It's so beautiful. What I do is, when I'm wearing glasses, so I take off my glasses for a second, and then I say the bracha, and then I put my glass back on, I could see. Or when I'm wearing my contacts, I just close my eyes for a moment, and then we could see. And wait, why can I see? Not everyone can see, because Hashem allowed me to see. That's gratefulness, that's mindfulness, that's connectiveness, and it's happening right away, right in the morning. This is happening shortly, either as soon as you wake up or shortly after you wake up. So they've done a lot of studies, and they said the number one thing that makes people happy is having gratitude. Right? And now you start off having gratitude towards your Creator for all these things that you have, so then when you are living the rest of your life and the rest of the day, it's a whole different day. Now, by the way, if you say this every day for many, many years, it's very easy to mumble through it. So mindfulness is slowing down that mumbling and saying it like you mean it. Okay, next. Blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who clothes the naked. We're wearing clothes. We have nice clothes. It's an amazing thing. Does anyone ever think about, wow, I'm so happy I have such nice clothes. I didn't have to get them at the thrift store. I could go to the mall. Another act of mindfulness and gratefulness right away. Next, blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who releases the bound. Meaning, usually we feel stuck, and then we unstick ourselves, right? We're able to move around. Next, blessed are you, Hashem, King of the universe, who straightens the bent. You ever see someone that's walking around hunched over? Right? So I remember I saw, this was so powerful. I was in synagogue once, and there was an older man next to me, and he was like, all the time walks around like this, and he said this bracha, and he stood up. Right? Just for that moment, just to like fulfill that. But just, look, Hashem makes people different ways, but just think about it. You have the ability to walk straight. We got to thank Hashem for that. We're going to turn the page a little bit. Next, on the top of page 21, the second blessing. Blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who has provided for my every need. Now, this is one of the most amazing brachas that we say in the morning, and one of my rabbis trained me that when you say this prayer, that's provided me for my every need, obviously we all have wants, but we have to know that at the moment we say this prayer, that everything that Hashem gave us is what we need to live our life properly that day, right? Everyone has different things and different challenges and different opportunities, but imagine that mindfulness. Okay, we're going to do one more prayer, and then it's 9 o'clock, so we've allotted our 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. If you turn back to page 16, and it's a little prayer. I'm going to say it in Hebrew, and then we're going to say it in English. Page 16 on the corner of the page, top corner, is the second prayer in. Okay? It talks about the privilege of being a Jew and the privilege of learning Torah. So we say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol amim. Blessed are you, Hashem, King of the universe, who selected us from among all the nations, v'nasan lanu es Torah, and gave us the Torah. Right? Everyone agrees we have the Torah. Right? So Hashem gave us the Torah. Baruch atah Hashem Noisein HaTorah. Blessed are you, Hashem, the giver of the Torah to the Jewish people. So just think about this. You have, in 10 minutes in the morning, you can look at your iPhone and see how many annoying emails you got. See if your friends texted you back or not. See if see what's online, what's happening in the world. Or you can say for 10 minutes, you know what, pause. I'm going to say these morning brachot, and I'm going to connect and be grateful to Hashem for all the things that I have, for my eyes, for being able to walk straight, for being able to have nice clothes to wear, for being able to be Jewish and have the Torah, and have the Torah, and so on and so forth, and most importantly, for being able to have everything that I need to live my day to day. that's a completely different day. If you try this just once, you will see the rest of your day will flow and follow on a much different level of energy and a much different level of gratefulness. All right, so let's spend 10 minutes having a great day tomorrow.